Hello everyone, welcome back to our lecture on karst topography. Where we left off, we were talking about sinkholes and how they form. So we're going to continue talking about dolines. Dolines are just another more scientific name for sinkholes that specifically happen in karst or limestone landscapes. So there are a number of different types of dolines, or sinkholes, you could say. So the first type is a solution doline. So that's when you have a heavily fractured landscape and water goes into those fractures and corrodes it and erodes it away, and you have collapse of that substrate. Next we have a collapse doline, and that occurs when you have a cave which you have an overlying layer where blocks fall into and it just kind of crumbles into it. Next type is a dropout doline. So that's similar to what was discussed in the video when you have a cave or fissure within the limestone layer that suddenly opens up underneath a cohesive soil layer, and so this whole soil layer collapses and fills in that cave space. Next we have buried dolines, and that's when you have a doline that then gets covered in soil and completely filled, and over time you can have collapse as well as you have more of that material entering the cave. Cap rock doline, that's similar to like a sinkhole that occurs over or under a road, where you have a cave that's eroding the material below, and then all of a sudden it collapses down into that cave. So cap rock is similar to a collapsed doline, except that usually a cap rock is formed when you have a different rock type above that limestone layer that's fairly cohesive, and it all kind of collapses at one time. And then lastly, we have suffusion dolines, suffusion, and that's similar to what was discussed in the previous video, where you have that pipe leak. It's when you have a soil layer on top of limestone, and that limestone has a fissure or a cave in it, and the flow of water allows that soil to enter that cave and form a depression. So that's the suffusion doline. So sometimes dolines or sinkholes coalesce with each other, and when they do, we call that uvala. And so you can see that here, a single doline then coalesces with multiple, and so you have an uvala that results. Here's some examples of that, where you have a couple of these dolines in a row, and they combine to form one uvala, or multiple, as you can see from this image. As uvala get even larger, we can form a polhe. So this is an entire valley that's taken up by an uvala. So it's a depression with a flat floor caused by the collapse in limestone topography. And so, for example, we see these big valleys here surrounded by limestone cliffs here as well. And so this entire valley is formed as you have sinkholes and dolines coalescing, forming uvalas, and they get even larger and filling up this entire valley area. Another interesting feature of karst topography are disappearing streams. So this is when a stream is flowing over a landscape and then it hits a sinkhole or a doline that then leads to a cave system. And so then that entire stream goes underwater and enters that cave system. And so it can look like the water is flowing and then it just stops flowing and instead flows into the cave. You can see that here as well in this diagram, where you have a stream flowing, it enters a sinkhole and then starts flowing into the cave system instead, and then comes out as a stream. or as a spring. So these springs can be rather large if they're flowing out of a cave system. You can see these rivers flowing out of the cave that were most likely originally fed by a disappearing stream on the surface. And they're flowing out and releasing that fresh water back out into the open landscape. So when you have an entire landscape that's covered in dolines and uvala, then you can have a type of topography called a Fengkong Karst topography. And that's when you have pretty much the entire landscape covered in these uvala, in these areas which have collapsed due to the limestone. And all that's left behind is single peaks, these conical hills where that's surrounded by uvala, just leaving behind these hills. When that gets even more extreme, you can have tower and fenlin, just another name for it, karst topography. So this is the same topography, except usually you have some sort of uplift, which allows even more erosion of the limestone around that area. So these uvala get even more eroded, and these towers get even taller. You can see that here in this diagram, that when you have some sort of uplift, then the erosion capacity increases, and so now the surrounding area can erode all the way down to the next bedrock layer, in this case a shale. And so everything around these towers is shale, and then all that's left is these haystack hills or towers or fenlin that erode inwards and can form these very tall, dramatic features. You can see the diagram here of how this normally progresses. First, you have a limestone area rock unit that has several fractures and faults through it, and water flows more easily through those fractures. And as it does, it erodes away those linear features, and in between them are the areas that will become the towers or the fenlin. And so these erode down further and further, and all that's left between those fractures are these towers that form, and they can form rather tall features. And the last thing that we're going to talk about is limestone pavement. This is a similar topography as the topography that forms the limestone towers, except this is usually over a broad landscape where you have exposed limestone deposits that slowly get eroded as their fractures are exposed. So what happens here is that you have this limestone layer that has several joints and bedding planes in it. Joints are the vertical cracks that develop in that layer, and bedding planes are the horizontal ones that go across the entire landscape parallel to the ground, usually. And so because those joints and bedding planes allow for more water to flow through them more easily, they erode more easily. And what happens is that you develop a system that looks more like this, where you have these individual blocks here between those joints and bedding planes, and we call those clints. And the spaces between the clints we call grikes. So these are the spaces in here, and that's where you have more water and grikes forming. Next, we're going to talk about cairns. So cairns are a limestone feature, not just a problem in society, but also in erosion. So cairns are grooves and formations that form on top of a clint and allows for water to flow off of it. So it's these tiny grooves that can develop and more easily flow water from the clint into the grike. Yeah, so they're these tiny little riffles that can develop. And then kamenitsas are little holes or depressions that can develop and kind of pool water on top of the clint. And you can see these, for example, here are the little cairns that are developing and allowing water to flow into these grikes. And then you have a couple of these kamenitsas as well that would allow for water to pool on top of that clint. Where this type of topography is most extreme is a place called the Tsingy del Bimahara, probably pronouncing that incorrectly, National Park, where we have a really thick limestone layer where it's been heavily eroded and the grikes and the clints have form these very dramatic features. So this would be, as you get even more and more erosion, the grikes form these huge valley systems that are tens of meters deep, whereas the clints are these towers that are kind of remaining, and the cairns being these tiny little riffles along the sides of the clint. All right, so that just about covers everything that we're going to be talking about for karst topography. So we talked about different topographic features in limestone landscapes. We talked about caves and speleothems and all the different things that you might encounter in a cave. We talked about sinkholes or dolines and the different types. We talked about Fangon karst and tower or Fenlin karst. And then lastly, we just talked about limestone pavement. So thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you guys next time in the next video.